Hey, what's up? Mike at FAss Motorsports, and we finally have an update on this Gen 1 Raptor. I know it's been a minute. We've done a couple more things to it, and here it is as of now. So right here at the front of the truck, you can see immediately there's been some modifications to the body. The factory bumper is gone. It has a Evil Manufacturing Hellion front bumper on there, and there's a 40-inch Baja Designs light bar right behind it, hidden behind the grille. Eventually we'll have a few more lights up here on top. We haven't decided what we want to go with yet. We like the clean, sleek look, but for now that 40-inch bar hidden behind the grille in amber really does the job well. This bumper has tons of clearance compared to the factory bumper. A lot more approach angle. It has a full skid plate underneath to protect you from all the elements off-road. This Gen 1 is running the Icon Stage 4 complete suspension kit. Up front you can see the coilovers up here with the upper control arms. I really love these upper control arms. They've held up great to the elements. They perform great off-road, daily drive this thing. The Delta joints in there are awesome, nice and quiet. The Heim joints, tons of performance, tons of droop, tons of travel. The clickers on the shocks are dialed in perfect. You can really tell a difference when adding and taking away from compression. For wheels and tires, this truck's running 37-inch Nittos. It has a Method 17-inch wheel on there. Really love the clean look. This truck's all blacked out for the most part. Kind of different than all the other bright colored stuff that you see us drive around here all the time, and all my other vehicles are loud and bright and in your face. This one's kind of a little darker, a little bit more sinister looking, I guess. The black on black is nice and subtle, looks cool in my opinion. So one of the cool things about this truck is it's running all the Morimoto aftermarket lights on it. Well, not all of them, but they have a pretty extensive catalog, but it does have some of them on there. You could see the aftermarket mirror lights that are on there. Has the corner markers and a lot of their other lights. For side steps, kept the factory OG Gen 1 Raptor side steps on there. I think they look cool and it helps. I do daily drive this, wife, kids, everyone's getting in and out of it. It's done great. And with the black, it really helps with the rocks, keeping the rock chips down. As far as skid plates, has all the factory skid plates on it. I haven't added anything to it other than what came with the front bumper. All the underneath is factory for skid plates. So on the rear, I'm running all the Icon stuff, the continuation of the Stage 4 kit. I'm running their bypass rear shocks with their bump stop kit and their leaf springs. Right now I have their leaf springs set at the extra leaf for the 300 extra pounds in the bed, which I have the Evil tire carrier in the back, so that really helps. I'm running the Evil long travel rear shackle kit with this truck. I didn't want too much rake in it. I didn't want to add too much preload to the front, trying to keep it low. The nice thing about the Icon rear bypass shock for this Stage 4 kit is if you look, it's actually offset from the factory location where the eyelet is actually on top of the shock. This one is offset, so you're actually gaining more travel in a bolt-on location. Since we do use this truck, protection is key. One of the things that we really wanted to upgrade was a rear diff cover. One, it protects against all the elements. This factory one, it took a little bit of abuse. This one does have 2 fill holes, which is nice. Protects, it's a lot better, does a great job, looks cool, that's important. On the rear, you can see I have an Evil rear bumper, stubby, narrow width as well. I like that look, clean. I did the dovetail cut on the bed sides. This truck does tow. It has a built-in tow receiver in the rear bumper. Moving on to the bed of the truck, I have Innovate billet bed supports. That is very important, especially in the Gen 1s, this body style truck. The beds kind of rattle apart. If you look too close at some of them, you'll see a lot of split edges in the multi-piece way that they designed the bed on these. This one, I tried to put them on there before that started happening, but the harder you push it, inevitably it's gonna happen. So running off-road, you don't want to be stranded and not have a spare with you. This one actually has a dual vertical tire carrier in it, made by Evil Manufacturing. It has a spot for the extra 5-gallon fuel jug, and there's also a spot to mount a jack in there as well. It's not in there at the moment, but whenever we do take it to like the Raptor run, which this has been, we like to have it with us on those trips. One of the things that I really like, just kind of finishes the truck off, gives it that nice clean look, and it actually works, is the third brake light from Evil up top. This one is a little bit different. It's not their fabricated style. This one is one of their carbon fiber models, which are pretty tough to get. I'm running Baja Designs S2s in there in ambers. Gives a pretty straight shot, straight back, but I also get a little bit of flood whenever I'm working on stuff on the trail or, you know, loading the bed or just kind of screwing around at night. Outside of the suspension on this thing, this has a little bit done to it, not a whole lot. Really try to keep it simple and reliable. I have power stop brakes. They've done great, kind of like a OEM Plus in my opinion. Nothing too crazy, but they've been very reliable and they've held up great. I do have aftermarket brake lines in there. I have not experienced any brake fade, which is very common in these trucks. As far as exhaust on this, I'm running an MBRP downpipe in the back. It does have some drone, but sounds cool. That's all that matters. Lighten things up a little bit. To go with the MBRP exhaust I have on this, to help it breathe, I'm running an S&B intake. Works great, some noticeable power increases. The main thing is it's easier to clean. So for the most part, that kind of covers everything with this truck. You've seen the suspension, 37s, wheels, tires, tire carrier, all that stuff that's in there makes it look cooler, runs better, better performance. Intake, exhaust, tuner, that's kind of the main things for the performance of it. Next to come, we have some things coming on the way to make the front end a little bit wider, a little bit more travel, and extra shock for up front. So a lot of people keep asking me, when am I gonna get a new truck? When am I getting a new Raptor? Why do I like all this old junk? And I mean, really this is why. I mean, I remember when these trucks came out, I loved them. I always wanted one. I got one. I had an idea for how I wanted to set it up. I'm not there yet. I'm on the way though. Kind of like my Jeep, you know, I had a visual of how I wanted to do it and it's almost there. Nothing's ever finished, as we all know that. But why this old dinosaur? They just work, they run. I mean, yeah, they have their issues. I mean, they leak. Almost all of them are rusted out now. On paper, they're nowhere near as great a performing as the Gen 2s and Gen 3s that are out there. The EcoBoost smoke these things in a straight line. I know from experience, but these are reliable. They sound cool, a little bit more affordable, but it's just a thing, I guess, man.